Hi, my name is Rex Beanland and welcome to this edition of my Tips and Techniques video series. And today I would like to take a look at the technique of softening edges. And first of all, I just want to show, just move this out. This is a sample that I did. I posted this on my blog, on my website, to when I was posting about softening edges. And in each case I made a mark with the brush, and then I took the brush with just pure water and touched the bottom edge. And you can see the way that it has, the way the bottom edge has softened right down to this thing, which just looks like a lovely stormy sky or something. All watercolorists know this and probably have used it, but I did not fully understand the power of this technique, and now I find I'm using it all the time, and it adds a new element to painting. So what I'd like to do first of all is just demonstrate this. And just before I do, it looks really easy. It's certainly easy to understand. In practice, it's not quite as easy because you need to know how wet your mark is and how wet your brush is with pure water when you touch the edge. And depending on that, you'll get different effects. And it does take just a little bit of practice to really master this idea of softening edges. So what I'm going to do is bring in another piece of paper here. Let's make that a little bit stronger. Then I'm going to clean my brush and have it with just water. And I find it really useful to just, I'll do it over here, to squeeze my brush with my fingers, because then I know exactly how much water's there. I think I need a little bit more. And I'm just going to touch the bottom edge. And I'm going to zoom right in on this. So you can see this bottom edge is diffusing or bleeding out. So this leads us to the watercolor idea of lost and found edges. Here the edge is hard, it's found. Here the edge is lost. And that's a beautiful thing to play with in painting. I'm going to show a couple of other ways that this can be interesting. If I just take water and I just kind of go over my paper like that, and I make a stroke down there, you can see, so you get some wonderful effects. You got, broken edges, dry brush, you got lost edges and found edges. This effect done in the context of a painting can be wonderful. What I would like to really show is the power of this. So here I've painted an eye. It's a lovely eye. It's a very literal eye. It's very colorful, but it just states the facts. Here is an eye. So what I'm going to do, just move this up, is I'm going to do this eye over again and try and demonstrate the power of lost and found edges. So I'm going to start in this. And I'm going to leave a little highlight there. See, with that wedge, I'm able to still get a pretty sharp edge to it. You can have a bit of a color shift here, adding some alizarin crimson, and you can see how much more vivid that line becomes when we mix up some of the color there. Because what I want to do is demonstrate softening edges. And the first thing I want to do and I also want a little bit, because there's often a shadow under the eyelid. So I wonder if I just tickle the edge of this. It may come to, it actually does. So it just has water. Need a little more water though. And I'm going to do something like that. And again, get in there right away and soften that edge. And there you can see it's bleeding. What I'm going to say is that's exactly what I wanted. Get in there with some water. There's often kind of a dark, and then edge to the eye there. And on this wash, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to soften the edge here. I'm going to add the pupil. So that's softening the edges in action. Now I'm just going to zoom out so we can compare both eyes. And I guess we all have to make our decision. This one's accurate and this one is a step above. This to me has life in it. That is just accurate. When I started painting, I felt my job was to accurately copy nature or copy whatever I was painting. If it looked just like the thing, I was happy. That was my goal. I now see my role as an artist in a much different way. It's not to create an exact copy, but it's to create an impression, something that kind of has a story, has more interest to it. And for me, this, even though it's just one eye, I can almost see a person or a personality. There's just something far more interesting to this to my eye than this. Even though this one's a very nice one, this one to me is much more interesting. As we're speaking about making this eye more interesting, I would like to announce that I have just developed a new workshop called Transparent Watercolor Portraits. I'm really excited by this because as a result of doing these portraits, I have come to a new understanding of transparent pigments, softening edges, and the expressive use of color. And I'm finding that this new knowledge is improving all my watercolor painting. This workshop's being offered for the first time at the Leighton Centre in Calgary, June 17th and 18th, 2017. If you're interested, contact the Leighton Centre, or you can always contact me. Okay, now let's take a look at some examples of softening edges in action. I just happened to be coming in from the garage and I saw this clump of snow. So I thought I would just do a study because it really is an exercise in softening edges. If you look in here, all over, the bottom edges tend to be hard, but almost all of the top ones were softened because a clump of snow is a real gradual sort of dome, and the light hits it and it just gradually gets darker. It's not till you get to the bottom where you really see hard edges. So it was strictly a chance to practice softening edges. Okay, I'm now just going to show a few other paintings, primarily portraits, that use this idea of softening edges a lot. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I really recommend a little bit of thought or study to really master the idea of softening edges, because it really can take your work to a new level without actually, in a sense, learning any new techniques. You can take the same thing, and by softening edges you can create almost a new painting. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you get something out of it, and we will see you next time.